everyone, welcome to my table, and welcome back to the 5th episode of Essence and Encounters. This is where we look through the new 2024 Monster Manual, look at the monsters inside, their history, and how to run them. I'm sorry this took a while to get out, but as you can see, I moved, and I'm in a new place, and I'm about to get a job, so this may take a while to come out, so I am sorry. But last time, we had a giveaway, and the person who won the giveaway decided on an Amethyst Dragon to be the creature we cover. However, since this is not in the new Monster Manual, he then decided to change his answer to what we are covering today, which is the Spectator. The Spectator comes from 3 main sources that I can find, coming from either the Clockwork Haven of Mechanus, being dreamed up by a beholder, or being summoned by a ritual by a wizard that requires 3 to 4 beholder eyes. These creatures are about 3 to 4 feet around and are medium creatures. They're also aberrations, creatures of strange and almost unnatural proportions. Spectators are creatures usually created to protect something for 101 years. This is normally a treasure or a location, but don't let that limit you. I think it'd be interesting to have it guarding a person, which would be a fun way to kind of like integrate them into your campaign. Spectators, if you have not seen one or not know what they are beholderkin, which means they are kin to beholders. These creatures, which are little balls of menacing power and eye stalks. And not only are they beholderkin, they're made slightly in their image, being a round ball of flesh that is smaller than a beholder with lesser eye stalks. Their skin is also rubbery and thick, however, having one central eye and being able to shoot eye rays, just like a beholder. After their tenure as a guardian is up, they will likely be able to either wander off or return to nothingness, depending on the spectator's choice. Spectators are lawful neutral in nature, and that makes them completely willing to follow laws and orders, since it was kind of like what they were made to do. Being guardians of a certain area, they were given a task and they're going to take care of it. It can also be social, completely willing to talk about what they are guarding or who or what summoned them. This can give the spectator a personality, and it can be something to integrate into your campaigns. And also allows for more possible roleplay encounters for these creatures. Many spectators travel the world after their assignment has been completed, which can make them very good NPCs. Not only that, they try to learn more about the multiverse and why they had a reason to be created. This can lead to a bunch of different kinds of encounters, from roleplay to combat to a mix of both or even a twist on a mission. They also tend to become philosophers, pondulating on the rules and aspects of reality, if there are any at all. And as said before, these creatures are friendly, cordial even, and willing to participate in long and interesting conversation. Now we move on to the stat block of the Spectator. It is a medium aberration, which is lawful neutral. It has an AC of 14, a +2 to initiative, 45 HP, a 5-foot walking speed, and a 30-foot fly/hover speed. And it is an 8 in strength, a 14 in dexterity, a 14 in constitution, a 12 in intelligence, a 14 in wisdom, and 11 in charisma. That's some pretty even stats to take care of. They even have a +6 in perception, probably from all those eyes, and are immune to the exhaustion and prone conditions. Because imagine trying to get a ball to go prone. Can you go prone? I'm gonna find out. They have 120 feet of dark vision and a passive perception of 16. They speak undercommon and deep speech, and they can also speak telepathically. Lastly, they are a CR3. Next is actions. The Spectator has multi-attack, being able to do another action once or be able to use its eye rays twice. It can do a bite, which is a melee weapon attack with a +4 to hit. In a reach of 5 feet, the bite deals 1d6 +2 piercing damage, and then comes its eye rays, which it has 4 of. When it attacks with its eye rays, it attacks it with a random one of the 4 it has. It has a range of 90 feet by themselves. The 4 rays are as follows: the Confusion Ray, the Paralyzing Ray, the Fear Ray, and the Wounding Ray. The Confusion Ray causes a creature targeted to make a DC 12 Wisdom saving throw, and on a failure they take 2d4 psychic damage. And as a result, the target cannot take reactions until the start of their next turn. As well as a fail, the creature's next turn is hindered, meaning that they cannot take the movement action and must make a melee or ranged attack against the closest creature to them within range. If none is available, then they can do nothing that turn. Then we have the Paralyzing Ray, which is the target needs to make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw. On a fail, the creature becomes paralyzed and can remake the save at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. It automatically succeeds after 1 full minute or 10 rounds in combat. You must be the unluckiest person ever if you're paralyzed for 10 whole rounds. We then have the Fear Ray, and it does what it says. Fear! Nightmare! 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 It causes a DC 12 Wisdom saving throw, and it takes 2d4 psychic damage, and the target is frightened until the end of the turn on a fail. Lastly, we have the Wounding Ray, which is a DC 12 Constitution saving throw, or they take 3d10 necrotic damage and half as much on a success. Lastly, we have its reactions, which it has one of, named Spell Reflection. It can be activated when the spectator succeeds on a saving throw on a spell, or a spell attack against them misses. It can then reflect the magic back at the target of their choice within 120 feet of them, who needs to make a DC 12 dexterity saving throw. On a fail, they take 3d6 force damage. Now we move on to an encounter for these guys. And we'll have a group of 5 level 3 adventurers, for example. And we'll be using the same ones as we used before, the Warlock, Fighter, Cleric, Wizard, and Monk. Here's the background. As a party has traveled, they have heard legend of a hidden treasure deep within the mountains, that many have sought out and have either failed to find or have never come back from going to look for it. Those who never come back have been said to all go to a chasm, the deepest part of the mountain range, with well over 100 feet below the base ground level going into a cave system. As they approach, they start to see a dim purple light in the distance, and as they get closer, they see a glimmer of a chest filled with gold. The wizard calls out to the rest of the party to slow down, as there could be a trap, but they enter the opening in the cave, and the group sees a medium-sized creature, an orb of rubbery flesh with one large center eye and 4 eye stalks. It yells out,
"I am Oleg, guardian of this treasure. What be your purpose?"
There are many ways this encounter can play out. One is talking to Oblak, and possibly ending things with a deal of some sort, or maybe even return of coin in return for the lives lost trying to get it. Maybe they can offer more gold to guard, by guarding their stuff and becoming an adventuring banker of sorts. This, however, can go south in just an equally number of bad ways, leading straight to combat. Here's the initiative order, and the map is done by the wonderful people at Shay and Beku. Oblak will start by using 2 eye rays. Usually I like to roll dice to dictate who it hits. For a party of 5, I roll a d6 and ignore the 6. I rolled a 2 and a 4, hitting the monk and the fighter. The monk gets hit with a paralyzing ray and then passes his constitution saving throw on a 14, where the fighter gets hit with the confusion ray and he fails his DC 12 wisdom saving throw with an 8. So now he takes 5 psychic damage, can't take reactions until his next turn, and must attack randomly. The monk is next and he runs up to punch the spectator, hitting his attack and dealing some damage before using flurry of blows, hitting one more time out of the 2. The fighter is next and he cannot move, so he'll pull out his bow and attack a random creature. He rolled a 2 on the d6, so he will attack the monk. Luckily he misses a shot and he makes a save again, ending the effect on a 15 success. Next will be the wizard, who will cast a first level magic missile at the Oblak, hitting all 3 and dealing some good damage to it, and staying behind the others. The warlock's turn is next, and he fires an Eldritch Blast, which misses with a 10 to hit. When that happens, Oblak will use his reaction to use Spell Reflection against the wizard, who fails their saving throw to take 3d6 damage. Oh, that's max damage, and the wizard has 3 HP left. Eey. Lastly in turn order, it's the cleric, who will fire a guiding bolt at the spectator, dealing a huge amount of damage to it. We'll then have one more turn to the spectator, who uses 2 eye rays, one at the monk and one at the cleric. The spectator rolls a 4 on the monk and the 3 on the cleric. On the monk, who he does the wounding ray to, the monk makes it 11 on his DC 12 constitution saving throw. He takes 3d10 necrotic damage, taking 15, a good chunk of his health. The cleric, however, passes their DC 12 wisdom saving throw with a 19, not taking psychic damage and not becoming frightened. Now that's where I'm going to end the fight here. Will the party face off against Oblak and win? Will they be able to convince him to stand down on that store? Or will they end up fighting brutally for the gold and the fallen? Who knows? It is up for you to decide how you run your encounter. I would like to thank my patrons, Circuitry News, Weep Person, Nix Hunter, and Vixenville. Now I hope you enjoyed the video. Support your local game shops, enjoy your adventures, and roll safely. Safe travels!